Well, tubers, Tibets, and of course, crazy people. I have no idea what I'm going to title this video. Something about anger management or something like that. Because I've been pissed off a lot lately. And I've been very unhappy with the Philippines recently. And so you think, well, okay, maybe Paul's got the 7-year itch. No, that's not it at all. I'm actually became very frustrated with the Philippines. If I could get rid of some words that are thrown around on YouTube channels, one would be living like a king and paradise. If it was paradise, we'd all be living there. And if we were all living like kings, we'd have legions at our command. Okay. The fact that you have a housemaid doesn't make you a king. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to tell you why I considered and have thought about actually leaving the Philippines and what my ultimate decision is in this video. All right, so have I hit the point of no return? Is the honeymoon over? Is it time for me to just pick up, pack it in, and bail out? I want you to believe me that for the last couple of weeks, that's been going through my head. Maybe it's time for me to grab the old lady here and just pick up and go, because the Philippines is starting to wear me down. And how is it that I can be here for over 7 years and not have that happen to me? And in the last few months, have it happen to me to the point that I just want to chuck it and just move on. Well, the short answer is bureaucracy. And it's created tension between my own health and well-being. It's caused me to, not caused me, but it's stressed me so much that I'm overeating, I'm gaining weight. That adds to it because I was so proud of myself because I lost weight. And so this is all coming back. Well, creating stress and tension between my wife and I, where we always just sort of bounce around and bounce off of each other just fine. But she's starting to push back a little bit because I've been pushing really hard. I've been complaining like a little girl. One thing I don't do is lose my shit in public. I wait till I get in the car. And then she has to listen to it. Poor woman. Okay. So all this stuff, bureaucracy. Let me talk to you a little bit about bureaucracy. I don't think it's any secret if you've watched the channel any length of time that I've purchased and I'm trying to purchase a piece of land for my wife. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but circumstances are that the lawyer that we employed has been dragging his feet on this, and it's taking longer than it should. The good news is, the great news is that there's no cloud on the title. There's no encumbrances. There's no problems with it. It's what they proverbially call out here a clean title. It belongs to this person. It simply needs to be moved over to my wife's name, and that's that. But it takes about 44 pounds of paperwork, all in triplicate, to make that happen. And so recently, we started off with trying to get a building permit. And every time we went to go get this building permit, we were missing something, needed something, that had to change, this had to be fixed. Oh, and people weren't there. We would say, okay, well, you got to go to the barangay captain. Yeah, okay, no big deal. We'll go to the barangay captain. 3 days in a row, he wasn't around. So we made 3 trips, burned the gas, took the time, put May's sister in the car, all for naught. And that's just kind of like, by time number 3, it's like, does this guy ever show up? I mean, I want his gig. So finally we get there, and what does he do? He signs a little thing and charges 38 pesos, and we're done. In and out in 5 minutes. But it took 3 days. to get that 5-minute audience with him. Now, we have to go back to the municipality, and they need this, they need that. It needs to be in triplicate, blah, 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 blah. And we're learning on the fly here because the so called contractor that was supposed to do this, he flew the coop. And so it's left to our own devices. All right, so we're going through all this aggravation. And then in January, this has been going on for months. In January, we went down to what was supposed to be the last piece of the puzzle and pick up the permit because finally everybody has come back from Christmas vacation, or the guy that was supposed to be there was in Manila. We couldn't get, we had 3 signatures, but we needed 4. Number 4 was at a Christmas party, or like I said, he was out of town, and blah, 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 blah. The last thing supposedly that we need is a clearance from the fire department, which is understandable. I said, okay, for once, something makes sense. Yeah, you want to have fire clearance, make sure that you don't have any dangerous chemicals there or anything like that, whatever it is they're doing. I doubt they even come out and look, but anyway. But guess what? You don't do that in writing and in triplicate. You do it on their computer. This is in the first week or so of January. Well, the first week or so of January is when everybody is at the municipality doing what? Paying their property taxes, taking care of land acquisitions, land transfers, title changes, the same thing we're trying to do. And the system, the computer system, which is I don't know how old, is so burdened down that it just keeps spinning at the fire department. Today is February 21st. We tried this back in January, first I say January 10th, 11th. Just got a phone call. Hey, guess what? We got you in the computer at the fire department. And May's sister Jing, who's handling this for us, said, great, we're going to come down and pick it up. And the lady said, well, that's not going to be so easy because I can't remember where I put it. It's there somewhere, but I can't give it to you because I misplaced it. And I just laughed at that because I said, okay, that's fine. As long as it went through, I'm sure there's a solution to this. Now we have this issue with the title to our property that we're on this timeline. And we've had, well, we hired what I would call a slow moving attorney. That's putting it nicely. I've had a friend that has jumped in that knows his stuff and has been pushing this through for us. And he's gotten more done in 2 weeks than this so called attorney's done in 14 months. However, we had one job to do this weekend or over the last few days, not the weekend, the last few days. And that was simply for May and I to go down to a place called the BIR. BIR is the IRS of the Philippines. And May has a TIN number. TIN number you can think of as a social security number. And every year, everybody, including May, goes to the BIR or the municipality, or you can do it in different places, and pays their income tax in cash of all things. And dutifully, everybody goes down. It's not that much. I think it's a very low rate. I think May paid, I forget what she paid. But anyway, the problem is this TIN number has to align with the contract on the sale. And it can't line up because the contract of sale is under McGill. And Baby May's TIN number is under Espargera, her maiden name, a single woman. And so we said, okay. May went down. May and I went down. We got a checklist, and we were told you have 2 days by the guy that's helping us to get this handled, bro. You've got to get it moved from Espargera over to McGill. It's the only thing you got to do. You let me handle everything else. We said, easy peasy. We went down. I won't belabor the story because I already told it on my wife's channel. I will just cut to the chase here. I waited up until 3 o'clock in the morning to actually get on our own little computer here at home after having gone through all these other hoops to get it from Espargera to McGill, or just to have it recognize Espargera because she hadn't had the email before, so we had to go through that. That took a day to figure out and have someone explain to us. But to get it over from Espargera to McGill I had to stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning. Because remember the fire department, the thing was spinning? Same thing was happening at the BIR. And they said the only way that you're going to be able to get through is after hours. Now, after hours to me means like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. And I waited up a couple nights ago until every hour, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I got it going. We changed it over, and boom, last minute of the last day, because later on that day, it was 3 o'clock, it was tomorrow already. We had to meet with this person and give them that verification so that he could move forward with this land property transfer. Okay, so that is like extra compounded grief that has been driving me up the friggin' wall, along with the other things that at first didn't seem to bother me and now seem to really be bothering me. I'll give you an example. This is the third time that I've shot this video. I've been halfway through this video when I had to stop because some guy with a megaphone on top of his truck is driving by yelling about how he's selling fish for so much per kilo. So I had to stop the video because you couldn't hear me over him. Got about a third of the way through this video, and motorcycles decided that they were going to race up and down the street for a while with no mufflers. Had to stop, fold my arms, have a cup of coffee, wait for them to finish their thing. Thank God the karaoke machine's not fired up right now, or I wouldn't be here. And then there's the knucklehead stuff like being out of stock, people cutting in front of you in line, which is actually encouraged out here. Crazy stuff. Normally doesn't bother me, but it's really been bothering me recently. And so I kicked back and I thought, what would drive me to the point of saying that I'm willing to chuck all this and go back to the States where I know things are 10 times worse? People talk about traffic out here. Here, a traffic jam lasts for 15, 20 minutes and then you're out of it. Back home, I'd sit on the freeway for 2 hours at a time each direction, just trying to get to and from work. So those little nuances out here, I just accept. I say you need to adjust, you need to adapt, and you need to accept. And I felt like I'd gone through all three of those stages. But the accept part had all of a sudden started to crumble. I was no longer accepting my existence out here. And I found out why. Number one, although my intentions I thought were noble, only reason that I'm buying this property is so that my wife will have something. Not necessarily me have a legacy. I'll be dead and gone and forgotten, a week after I'm in the ground. But I just wanted to do the right thing by my wife, and that is give her a piece of planet Earth so that she will always have a place to call home when I'm dead and gone. Easy peasy, simple. But I'm not going to make a move until I have this friggin' title in my hand. It scares me to think about some of the horror stories that I've heard of guys building homes on houses that they don't really own the land, or the female, the Filipina, doesn't really own the land because of this mother title stuff and all this other jazz that can come in and impede that. We are fortunate in that we've waded through all that, and now it's just a matter of putting the packages together, paying some transfer tax that's going to be due one time, and finally it'll be in the chute and ready, and probably in 3 or 4 months we will have the title. The fact that I should have had the title 6 months ago has been rubbing me the wrong way, but I can't control the uncontrollable. I did not get with the sharpest tool in the shed when it came to an attorney, even though he was highly recommended by somebody that swore he was the best. Okay. That being said, why is this getting to me? The same reason things got to me in the States. I'm concerned about a thing, right? I like to be small. I like to be a minimalist. The less I have, the less I have to worry about. And what am I doing? Well, I'm acquiring something. Now, albeit it's not for me, it's for her, but still it's an acquisition and it's a possession, and I'm attached to it. And it drove home to me the point is that things aren't worth it. Relationships, love, trying to be a better person each day, trying to give more than you take. These are the things that I think all of us should focus on. And the biggest problem, more than the fact that it was about an item, a thing, it was meism. Whenever I'm focused on me, how do I feel? What's this doing to me? Why is this happening to me? Oh, poor, pitiful me. It just drags me down. I've managed to throw a one-man pity party for myself. And so I'm glad to tell you that I have pulled myself up out of that funk, and I'm now ready to become retired again and kick back and enjoy life. We have been blowing through money, but fortunately, we've been good savers. And so that money was actually sort of mentally already spent before we went into this endeavor. So we're cool as far as that goes. It's not like it's devastating us financially. In fact, it's enhancing us because right now, no brag, just fact, if we were to stop everything after getting the title, we could sell the property for at least double what we paid for it and make a profit even after getting scammed by a guy. So, but that's not our plan. It's just a fact. And so this meism, poor, pitiful me, I realized, you know what, Paul, get off it. Get over yourself. Um, I meet guys, talk about anger management. I meet guys all the time, and 99% of them are are just average schmucks like me. Or actually, they're a little higher class than me, but okay. Um, but I told a guy today just to piss off. He That's anger management, right? He insulted Dumagetti, and in the way that he said it, he was using all these little buzzwords, and he was painting this little town. And I said, well, then it's obviously not for you. I think it's time for you to leave. Apparently, this place is just not a good fit for you. Now, listen, cowboy, nice meeting you. I'm going to get back to talking with my wife. One of the only times I've ever blown anybody off that's come up to say hi, I watch your channel. But minus one subscriber for Paulie today. Or maybe more after this video. Who knows? All right, kids, that's it. That's why I've been pissed off. That's why I've been angry. That's why I've been unhappy. And what I'm happy about is that in my heart and mind, 90% of the heavy lifting is done as far as this thing. And I can get off the pity party. I can get off the meism, and I can start focusing on other things than myself. And hopefully, um, tomorrow I'll wake up a better man from it. All right. I'll see you kids in the next video.